base hit. The defense swung around to the right. You go to Cole. He just lights one down the third baseline and an easy base hit in the left.
The Red Sox did a great job in the previous series of going the other way when given the opportunity to do it, right? I understand the shifts and the numbers work over 162, but the Red Sox took advantage of the raised shift, got some big hits the other way, primarily with their right-handed hitters, and you see that right there. It seems so easy, because it is, when you have the mindset to do it. Now, in a regular season game, guys won't be as locked in as they are in the postseason game. Number 8 hitters in play. He takes it. And see him doing this a while. You see the splits with a guy that ahead of the count versus behind the count being crucial for Arroyo. 536, like the count now he has in his favor. 536 when he's ahead, 165 when he's behind. 26-year-old infielder. He's bounced around and ended up playing with Boston this season. Got into 57 games. The previous matchups, Arroyo really struggles against the curveball. Valdez has struck him out a lot on the curveballs, but you have to get into that count, right? You got to get ahead of him to be able to get him to swing at these curveballs. Anything close with 2 strikes, if he throws the curveball, Royals had a hard time laying off. The Giants played with Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Boston, Red Sox. Now it's 2-2. Now in the 2-strike count. Curveball saved it for a different situation. A lot of these matchups ended up with a lot of curveballs out of the zone for swings and misses. Red Sox put their leadoff hitter on in the first, now in the second, and leading off any inning this postseason. Boston hitting 408. 4 leadoff home run. That's right, put pressure on the opposing team. 3-2 is chopped to short.
Good, put those Red Sox to sleep.
It's amazing the late action on the fastball. The hitters just tell themselves to stay back and get it straight down to the ground. An easy double play. Base is empty for the number 9 hitter, Vasquez. He's got a big year swing in the bat in 2019. Hasn't been able to quite reach that level since. Large part.
Got my directory.
Season winning so far for the Red Sox this
Yep.
year, 353. And a walk-off home run.
Got my directory. Dan Sileo. It's college football directory. These are voters for the All-America teams and for the top 25. I didn't put my name on it down there. Look at that. See it? Pretty cool. Yes.
Rightfully so. Never seen anything like it. And he comes up at the bottom half. What's the next exclamation? That's what we should say. Exfoliation on that 2-run homer and sent the Red Sox in a pretty good way against the Braves. And he got it going in the clincher.
Long day. This will be my 3rd show.
Sacrifice fly by Hernandez. Again, was all over the place. Eyes on deck. That's a strike.
Stuck out that. Just scoreless.
Hey there, you get some gas?
I just using your squeegee.
Well, your squeegee kind of comes with gas.
Squeegee isn't free?
Oh, it's free with gas.
Yeah, but it's a plug-in hybrid. I don't need gas.
Well, no gas, no squeegee.
No gas, no squeegee?
No gas, no squeegee.
No gas, no squeegee.
Yeah, free squeegee.
Yeah, free squeegee.
Squeegee.
Evolve your journey beyond the pump in the first ever Santa Fe plug-in.
Third show today. Third show today, dude. I was on with Harry Mays earlier.
Beautiful ideas that remain in the dark.
We had like 400 people on.
But without a new multi-cloud experience.
Then I did my podcast show. Now I'm doing this. Third show today.
I decided to take over all sports. Because I'm here to announce the launching of my season's.
Any hockey on tonight? I'm watching baseball.
I see trees of green, bright roses too.
Is that Clemson Syracuse?
I see them
A conference with some of the most
Hey, dude.
programs in college football. We are national champions and raise some of the brightest stars. We are coaching legends who have left their mark on the game. And those legends will continue to write history. We are Jazz.
Hey, dude, Steven. Hey, my aunt thinks you talk trash on me.
And Future on Sundays. We are the ACC, and this is ACC football.
This is not a poster for Lethal Weapon 5. It is our virtual locks on the season. And Galloway, by virtue of tie, has a one-game lead over America. It is back. Another edition of Virtual Locks. Hasn't been pretty, but it's close.
No, it's all good. Because I think you're under some impression that this is the show that I do. I turn the mics on just because I'm trying to grow a YouTube channel. I'm on 46 stations now across the country. I think you're under some impression that this is the only people I'm talking to. I do a national radio show, guy. No, we're good too, Steven. It's all good. I'm just saying, I like, because somebody pointed out, I guess you said that we only have like 3. Maybe we do, but it's all good. Whether it's 3 or 53 or 3,003. And you're right. I didn't have any ratings at 97.3, so I'm not mad at that. But don't ever suggest in San Diego that I didn't have and have the highest ratings in the history of the morning show of Mighty 1090's history in 79 years. That's a fact. I quadrupled anything Scott and BR did and anything that Hacksaw did. I posted that release on my Twitter page. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, my aunt doesn't know that, and I know you are, Steven. But hey, you know what, Steven? I will say this. My wife said something to me. You know what was really hard about 97.3? If you remember right, you couldn't hear it like in North San Diego. Then they put those boosters in, and it's really helped. I can hear it in a lot more places. But when I first started, dude, they had first Mighty 1090 was still up and running. Those boosters weren't going. You could barely hear the station. Yeah. No, listen. No. I'm going to make it clear here. I failed there. I totally failed there. I did. The whole thing was a train wreck. It was probably my fault for not bringing my own guys. I'll never do that again. But it hurt me. That station, all the things I did, even at 1090, dude, when I was doing 5 shares, Scott never got that. And when I did 5 shares over there, or whether I did 8 shares in Tampa, or I did 5 shares in Miami. All of that stuff was forgotten because it's everything I did at 97.3. Hey, dude, it was, man. All those inexperienced guys that were working with me, it was my fault, too. See, listen, Steven, I will say this. If I had to do it all over again, man, I would have done a lot of different things. You know what I would have done? Number one, I wouldn't have went there. I would have took the ESPN job. You want to hear something? I was offered the Ryan Russillo, an opportunity to host the Ryan Russillo show. I should have took it, but I didn't want to move out of San Diego. Oh, Steven, you're not a loser, man. No, I'm just talking here, man. It's all good. I'm not explaining. And I know that I don't have to tell anybody anything, but I'm talking to you because I like you. Oh, my God, dude. It's really the – hey, you want to know something? Even in Miami, I struggled because I didn't bring my own people in. It's the biggest mistake of your life. Totally got to bring your own guy. It is so important and vital. You're dead on, dog. What a mistake that was. And you know what? In both places.
I gotta know who oven baked my bacon. Who did it? Tyler. Come on over here, man. Oh, wow. Ow. Choose Wendy's.
Ever notice how stiff clothes can feel rough on your skin? For softer clothes that are gentle on your skin, try Downy Free and Gentle. Downy will soften your clothes
Turn this
without
down.
clouds or fumes. The towel wash with Downy.
Oh my God, it was a massive mistake, bro. Not to bring in my own people, man. Oh, then they gave me guys who were so terrible. One guy fell on the floor because he was a tweaker. Okay. By the way, you want to hear something crazy? Every single person at Entercom San Diego, I really like. Salespeople, Karen, let's see, the program director too. All them guys. Kevin Callahan, I love. All those guys are 100% really good people. You know, they all work for people in the world. You. All right, I'm going on the air, my wife. My wife is doing something, which is God knows what. Wait a minute here. My wife just says like this, who do you work for? I go, I work for you, honey. Who do I work for? Work for my wife. Oh, no, Steven. No, wait a minute. I'm kidding too. I was only busting your stones, guy. Little guy? Hey, Junior. How you doing, Johnny Palsy? I'm doing okay. How you doing? Yeah. An hour's worth? Oh, hey, no. This will be my third show today. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Let me get this calendar up so I can do my picks here. Yeah. Yep. How you doing, Junior? Good. It's all good. Let me just say this to you, man. Watch this. You're going to love this, and everybody that's listening to me. I have a Kia dealership on the table with a deal Monday. John Morgan's on the table. Atlantis is on the table, and Hooters is on the table. I got 4 deals pending right now for my radio show. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, again, you know what I told you. Product placement is one of the most important ways in getting live reads done. And see, when we were goofing around and talking, she was like, "That's great, right there. That's perfect because it's generically part of the show." See, I'm not a big script reader kind of guy. I don't really believe in it all that much. Yeah, well, and you know this as well as anybody, Chris. I mean, you know, product placement to me, it makes the client feel like they're more part of the program, part of the content, right? Instead of the segments. And what happens is most radio shows, in my opinion, they're too cookie cutter. You know, your spot, your live read, your content, and you're out. And it sounds the same shit, man. Yep. Well, look at you, man. Honestly, makes me wonder that maybe you do have talent. Hey, listen, no crying, man. I don't want to hear it. Mary. I'm looking more forward to popping open about 3 Coronas tonight. How you doing? No way. I don't like drinking beer and eating. You know what? My wife can eat. My wife can. Oh, a lot better, dude. Today was her best day. My aunt asked me to. We always do. You're great, dude. It's been like 2.5 weeks of like sickness. Hey, get this. My wife goes like this. So she just reached in. She goes, "So who do you work for again?" I go, "You, honey." Yeah. Well, I didn't say bitch, Chris, but okay. Oh, okay. I got it. Football Friday, my friend. Dan Sileo here on USA Radio Networks and across all of our platforms. YouTube, Twitch, and our Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show. Thank you so much. What a packed night. What a packed week it's been. I can't remember a more powerful week in content for sports than this week in a long time. You had the politics of sports. You have a coach getting fired. You had Brady last night on display at Lincoln Financial in Philadelphia. You have college football tonight. You obviously have the Astros, who I am desperately pulling for against those Red Sox. So going for the Astros. And I know some of you are going, wait a minute. Those guys are cheaters. I don't care. I would root for hell on fire before I would root for the Red Sox. Good night. Here you go. I mean, it's not happening. But that's the beauty of sports, okay? It really is, man. It's the beautiful thing in sports is that we get an opportunity to sit around here, flip and go back and forth, watch college football, like I said, and Major League Baseball. I so love it, man. It's really a great time. Obviously, this week, and by the way, we will look at, in this hour, we'll take a look at the big game 6s this week in the National Football League. We're starting to get into, I don't want to say playoff mode, but I think we're in a position now where we could start to say when it comes to NFL teams this, right? These teams are trending to be a team that's going to be contended with and really, a team that's going to be in a position to potentially get to the postseason and maybe win a Super Bowl. I would say this to you about the NFL this year. Who's the team you think is going to win the Super Bowl? You could probably come up with 5 different variations of that answer, couldn't you? All right, right? You know what I mean? I mean, football and pro football is so open to what your interpretation of a team having success so far this week and this year, and as we go into week 6 of the NFL. Really, I mean, the Bills, the Bucks. How about those Chargers, man? Big game this week at Baker Mayfield. Quarterback of the Browns is on display. He's got to take on Justin Herbert. Okay? He's got to go out and he's got to get into a position where that guy goes out and wins a game. Excuse me. It's not Justin Herbert. Herbert's taking on Lamar Jackson, and Baker's taking on Kyler Murray of the Cardinals. Okay? All franchise guys. And Baker Mayfield's got to show us that you could beat a guy like Kyler Murray. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about that. So have you seen the latest in this news here with the John Gruden email? Somehow it's gone from the investigation into the Washington team to the John Gruden emails. Wonderful distraction for the NFL. Well, let me put it out here for you here. Some new information has come out tonight. Do you guys know who Jeff Pash is? Do you have any idea who he is? Jeff Pash is the legal counsel for the National Football League. He's the top lawyer. He's the guy that cuts and negotiates all terms of all deals. Anything with legal issues has to go through Jeff Pash's desk and then to the commissioner to sign off on all deals. Colin Kaepernick settlement went through Jeff Pash. All investigations goes through Jeff Pash. Relocation all goes through Jeff Pash. He's the general counsel for the National Football League. He doesn't work for Roger Goodell. He works for the owners. Jeff Pash. Keep that name as I move forward. Well, there's been correspondence back and forth between him and Bruce Allen. And some of the language, supposedly, that's in these emails, in the context of these emails, are pretty salty. NFL Brian McCarthy, PR rep, came out today and said no more emails will be released. And get this, by the way, no other person has been implicated in the Washington emails. So out of 650,000 emails, John Gruden's 20 emails were the emails that the NFL poached out of this investigation and decided to come up with this direction to take Gruden out as head coach of the Raiders. 650. That number doesn't even, it sounds like we're talking about Hillary Clinton's emails. This is nuts. I wouldn't want anybody going through my emails. I promise you that. And I'm probably thinking, nor would you. But 650,000. And Jeff Pash and Bruce Allen having correspondence that looked like these guys were buddy-buddy. What does that mean? Okay, Jeff Pash is passing information to Bruce Allen, who passes information to Adam Schefter, who goes on the air at ESPN to get the narrative out. What do you make of that? You've got the head general counsel of the National Football League talking to Allen. They talk daily, potentially telling inner secrets of the NFL in relocation, the lockout, all of that. Poor language, off-the-cuff comments by owners, off-the-beat subjects. You think the NFL wants that out there? Bob Kraft, how about Bob Kraft's investigation into the massage parlor? So you're telling me out of all those 650,000 emails, nothing was said about Bob Kraft. Huh. Okay. And for this, by the way, I'm speculating. I don't know. A friend of mine, Jen Sturger. Jen, I don't think maybe you do, maybe you don't. Brent Musburger Googled over her one day when she was at FSU and she was in the stands, and he's like, "Holy cow, look at these Florida State." And Jen, I know her father. Her father played with me at the University of Miami. And she follows me on Twitter, too. We're dear friends. She's an FSU chick. She lived in Tampa, and I so love her. She's a great kid. I love her dad. And supposedly there was a tweet, and he went off on the air, Adam Schefter did, on Jen Sturger. And Jen goes, "This guy bullied me in the whole Brett Favre thing." Remember when Favre was passing inappropriate pictures of, right, the cannoli? And it got to a point where Favre got suspended by the NFL. And Sturger's like, "This guy was going after me, attacking me along with Deadspin." And she posted that on Twitter a couple days ago. This guy, Adam Schefter, man, I'm telling you, I don't believe that this guy's very credible any longer. But you know what makes him credible? His connections into the league. He is a mouthpiece for the National Football League. Jeff Pash, general counsel, potentially in inappropriate conversations with Bruce Allen, leaking information to Adam Schefter. That's what the innuendo is from the LA Times. Man, you talk about just ugliness, but they're shutting it down now. And guess what they're going to do? Everyone knows this. Watch this. You think Fox or NBC or CBS is going to go after the NFL? Those are their broadcast partners. They're going to start doing investigative reporting into why you only pick 20 emails out of 650,000. Where's the commissioner in this conversation? Right? Doesn't he have anything to say about inappropriate language through executives in his league? Or the blackballing of Colin Kaepernick? All of that. You know what it really comes down to, too? It looks like Kaepernick was right. The league was run by people with slave-minded mentalities. These aren't my words. But I'll tell you what, you may not believe that. Sure looks to be the action, though. Especially when you got a head football coach with John Gruden's power. Get this. Think of what his powering policies were and how much power he wielded when it came to hiring and firing of coaches. Whether it was black coaches or white coaches. When you talk like that, what would you think if you were a minority? That you would get a fair shake at getting a chance to be a coach with the Raiders? Obviously, you wouldn't think that. This guy talks down to Jews. He talks down to blacks. Okay? And I know there's people on the Raiders that are backing him. But his actions don't really match up with his words here a little bit, right? And I get his actions should mean more. But you see, the words are like symbols. They're like flags. People look at your words more than they look at your actions. We know that, right? It's on display every day. People can look at a flag without anything being said or a picture and come up with their own interpretation what that picture means. It's almost like reading the Bible in a way. Klans member can look at the Bible and read it one way, and a Christian can read it another way. Same thing with the Quran, right? We see that every day. We see that in terrorism every day. And we see that in religious circles every day. Obviously, people read things differently. So when you read emails, you're going to see things differently, especially when you have that harsh language and that racist tone, homophobic tone, and all that. But Roger Goodell is nowhere to be seen, and his general counsel now. You remember the story with John Dean? Mr. President, I think we have a cancer on the White House. Remember that? John Dean was the general counsel for Richard Nixon. This guy had to testify in Watergate. That's who this guy's job is. He's the general counsel to the president of the National Football League and, in theory, the commissioner of the league. And he knows what's going on and what's been said. I told you this yesterday, closing on this story here. The one thing that I will say is I still don't get what the objective was to just get Gruden out as head coach. Shouldn't they have turned those emails over to the Raiders and let the Raiders handle it? They didn't. They turned them over to the LA Times and the New York Times. They didn't even let it get to Mark Davis's hands. They didn't want Mark Davis making a decision on his own coach. Remember, he wasn't fired. John Gruden resigned because the league released those emails. That is nuts. How would you like the government coming in and telling you to fire somebody and you don't even know why? That's basically what happened here. They went in and told the Raiders, we're just going to keep releasing emails on John Gruden until you fire the guy. Friday and then Monday. And finally, he was out. It's a story. I'll tell you what this too. There's people around the league that I've talked to that now that a couple days have settled that think Gruden got ambushed. Tom Brady on display last night, maybe one of the very few times. Is this the last time we're going to see Brady this year in 2021? Is this it? I want to hit on him. Great game last night. We'll do it next. Oh my God, that would be amazing. Really, Chris? I get it. Who? Yeah. I'm gonna email Chris. I'm gonna email those guys that tomorrow. Maybe even I know I'll do it tonight. I like where I am. I learned a lesson over the last 2 years, Chris. You know what it is? You only are you only are where your feet is. Yeah. I'm who I am where my feet is. Oh no, I'm gonna do that. I get it. Oh, they're all over the place. Is the Hooters casino still there? Yeah, I don't think it is. I think they closed that thing. Remember they had that big guitar up front? Oh, okay. Did Hunter Renfrow hit a home run tonight? Hunter Renfrow. Oh, a double. No, I don't think they got hosed. Wait a minute. I'll take that back. It was a shitty call. Yes. Because I saw it today. That was a check. Yeah, you got to let that play out. You can't end the series on that. It's like finishing the Daytona 500 in the rain. Yes, it is, Junior. I'm glad to see that, you're learning from the Kong Bible and you're learning. Yes. That's right. See, when you get a degree from Kong University, it is one of the most prestigious in the world next to Cambridge's. Only very few coconuts are given out from that thing. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. We will talk more about week 6 of the league. Next block. Tom Brady last night. More and more I watch the guy, the more and more you just can't just take your eyes off his play. He's just tremendous, man. First series against the Eagles last night at Lincoln Financial. 10-play drive, 75 yards. And it looked like he was playing pitch and catch. He's just so great. But you know what the story was again? Okay. 9 catches, 91 yards last night for Antonio Brown. A guy who was in jail a year ago this time. In jail. Okay? Not a year ago this time because, he would have been playing now. But during the summer, because remember, he was suspended. It was a year ago. Right. All that stuff that happened out front of his house in Fort Lauderdale, nobody wanted him. Everyone said Antonio Brown took a match to a Hall of Fame career. He'll never get his gold jacket. It's over with. I said this. I put it up with the destruction of a career like Mike Tyson, lighting his career on fire at the end. And I was like, even Tiger to some extent, right? And I'm like, man, I've never seen an NFL guy just destroy his career like this. One of the greatest wideouts ever. Last night, he catches 9 catches for 91 or 93 yards last night. He's the fastest receiver, even with the year and a half off, to 900 receptions. Do you know how insane that is? He took a year off in some, and he's still the fastest guy to 900 receptions, including Jerry Rice. Tom Brady did something, though, for him. Tom Brady was the only person that threw his arms around a troubled teammate and said, there's something great about this guy, and there's something good about this guy. I like him. Remember, he tried saving Aaron Hernandez. He just couldn't do it. Hernandez didn't want to be saved. Antonio Bryant wants to be saved. He wants someone to believe in him. Sometimes in life, man, it just takes an organization or it takes one person. I tell people in my business all the time, not everybody has to like you except one person. One program director. One GM. That's why you see sometimes when GMs or PDs leave, that guy's traditionally a train wreck and it's over with and he's out of the building. Because you can't, how many times I've ever had that dynamic where I had the perfect GM, I had the perfect program director, and I had the perfect signal. Do you know how many times that worked in my life? In my 27 years, twice. Twice that worked. And I had record ratings in those places. The Camelot of radio. Like my guy Chris O will tell you. How many times has he ever had the perfect host, the perfect station, The perfect environment and the perfect GM. See that right there? That's my guy telling me to tell you, and I'm glad to do this, that don't forget this weekend, folks. This is your one-stop place. The Hooters in the Valley area. Arizona Cardinals, big game against Cleveland. ASU, Arizona, $3 Michelob Ultras, great food specials. It's free when it comes to all the freebies they have. You're just going to love it. We'll look at week 6 of the National Football League. We'll do it next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Here you go. This is Jen just tweeted me this. Here you go. Any further questions from random strangers on the internet that I think I should validate their speculation about my experiences? This is how the NFL uses him. My lawyer didn't say anything. He admits the NFL told him that. Direct message from Adam. Jen, just reporting what NFL told me. That's all. Happy to share anything you want on background. Happy to help, Adam. Wow. The NFL told him? Holy shit. Yeah. See, Jen Sturger's a friend of mine. Her father's a dear friend of mine. I said this, Adam, so the NFL commissioner told you this about Jen and the Favre case. I said, dude, Jen and her father are friends. I went, wow, and uncool. Well, Adam Schefter is tweeting behind DM to Jen that the league told him that Brett Favre in those cock pictures that he sent to her in that investigation, she was a reporter for the Jets when he was the Jets starting quarterback. And and so he was sending her inappropriate. She turned him into the league. They tried blackballing her. Hit pieces. And saying that the league only told him one time, and that was in the case with Bruce Allen, which turned out to be a lie now, because here's Jen giving me evidence. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Funny, I just got a direct message from Jen Sturger. And there's a direct message from Adam Schefter. This was years ago in the Favre case. And the direct quote from Schefter, and Jen sent it to me just now. Jen, just reporting what the NFL told me. That's all. Happy to share anything with you on background. He admits the NFL told him. See, the background is the inappropriate pictures of Favre sending text messages to Jen, who was a reporter for the New York Jets. Let me tell you something about Jen Sturger, too. Jen was on her way up. She was going to be the new, she's tremendous looking. It's kind of creepy for me to say because I've known her since she was 10. Okay? I mean, she's a friend of mine. The dad I've known for 35, 40 years, I've known him since I was a young kid. And she used to ask me advice, and Joy Taylor, who's on with Colin Cowherd, I developed her and helped her get along in her career. I have no problem doing that. Everybody who wants to work hard, Chris and I always tell everybody, I don't care what you look like. If you really want to be part of this business, you got to work your ass off. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes there's not a lot of reward for it. The only reward you get is in the product you deliver. And if you could keep it there and know that that's what you're doing, and that's how you get gratification is in your product, then the riches will come in other forms, money, satisfaction, whatever, however you want to slice it up. But it's already hard enough for women to get ahead in broadcasting, and most notably in sports broadcasting. And when you're doing creepy things like, I don't know, did you guys, I saw that last night live. Did you guys see the story about Terry Bradshaw today? Terry Bradshaw's getting hammered on social media, but let me close up the Sturger thing. So Jen sent that to me just a couple seconds ago. And I saw just a couple minutes ago that she had posted it on her Twitter feed, so I posted it on my Twitter feed because I want that stuff out there. This guy's creepy, man, and he's a liar. Trying to tell people that. Remember I told you the other night he was trying to save what he has left of his journalistic integrity? He has none. Keeps telling people, that he gets these insights. Yeah, he's getting insights from NFL people telling him things that they want out. He's not really a reporter. He's a mouthpiece. He's a complete mouthpiece in this thing. So, Jen, like I said, she was trying to work her way up. She was trying to get ahead. So tough for women in our business to get ahead. Look what they did to Rachel Nichols or Sage Steele or what have you. Man, I'm all for promoting women and minorities in broadcasting. We need more of them. We totally do. Why does it have to be white old guys? Right? It's white old guys on the radio. We need to have diversity so that our industry grows. Your industry can't grow. You know what radio has become sometimes with radio hosts? It's like pre-1947 baseball. And when an African-American tries to get ahead in broadcasting, whatever you think of Candace Owens, it's not important. It's that when she's got a voice and a lot of followers, give her a microphone. How do you know? She might shock you. But are you that afraid of that opinion and that view? I saw somebody talking on the air, about, Joe Rogan interviewing Sanjay Gupta from CNN. And you know what the person, I think it was somebody from The View. You know what they said? I don't care what Joe Rogan's views are, because he endangers people out there for his views on the vaccinations. You know what I said to that? So you are so close-minded that no matter if your view is not the view that you want to hear, and it challenges your view, you don't want to hear it? How could you call yourself a broadcaster then? When I got into broadcasting, I try to do this. I have a political view and a sports view and a religious view, and I'm pretty set in my ways with those things. However, what I like to do all the time is I like to get people with different views, different values, different ways that they see the world. I think that's more compelling than to have yes people on your show that can. You know what the biggest trick is in radio all the time? Say these guys and these kooks that are out there talking about elections being stolen. They're kooks. And you know what they do? They get people on to corroborate their thinking and their philosophy. It validates them. See? Told you. I don't want people validating me. You know what validates me? Someone bitching at me and saying your views are wrong, Sileo. That validates me because I must have got under that guy's skin. Well, I don't believe in what you believe in. Well, then you're wrong. Really? Okay. That's how, I don't get bent out of shape with it, but that's compelling to me. And I'm not talking about people screaming. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about people screaming like at each other, like but they do and all that. Real quick, because I got to get to these games and I want to get to week 6 here. But I want to say this. So Bradshaw last night was doing a Thursday night game. And you know what happened in the whole process? So tell me if you think this is out of hand. Tell me if you think this is sexist. So Aaron Andrews was doing a story last night. And one of the linebackers for the Buccaneers is a real big guy in horses. So what did Aaron do? Aaron dressed up in like a really nice outfit, boots on. She was at a barn. She kind of dressed for the theme of the interview, which I thought was kind of smart. It set the tone. It looked good. So it was a really great interview, actually, one of her best. Okay, so she throws it back to Kurt Menefee, and he asked Terry Bradshaw, Terry, when's the first time you got on a horse? Terry goes like this: when I was 3 years old. He goes, man, I'll tell you what, Aaron Andrews, did she not look great? Oh, she had her boots on and, she had her outfit on, all dressed up to the nines, man. She looked absolutely great. Now, to me, then he closed it off by saying, that was a great interview. Now, what's wrong with that? He commented on how she dressed for the interview. It set the tone for the interview. Maybe he didn't explain it enough, but he got called a racist, not a racist, a sexist, all day on the internet today. I'm like, wait a minute. Got to be kidding me. Yeah. Love Jillian. She's absolutely, she's a great friend and I love her. Yes. Terry Bradshaw is a country bumpkin that knows it and says it. And he is one of the most loved guys on that Fox lot. And that's why Aaron didn't have a problem. But everybody running, oh, geez, he's mentioning it and he's talking creepy to her. And I'm like, how do you say if somebody looks good doing a story, all dressed up to it? She themed it. Anyway, let me get into week 6. It's disgusting how people look at things today. Really? Get over yourselves, man. All right. Saw what happened last night. Buccaneers took care of business 28-22 over the Eagles. They now run their record to 5-1 on the season. They're back in form again. Dolphins and Jacksonville. This is a dog game. Both football teams really in chaos. I'll take the Dolphins in this game. Green Bay and Chicago. Chicago at home. They've got a good defense on that side of the football. I don't think Green Bay trips themselves up in this game. Do you know this is the oldest rivalry in the National Football League's history? It's Green Bay and Chicago. And do you know, I think it's 120-120 when it comes to games played. I think that's how close this thing is. I get Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers in this game. How about the team that's turning everything around in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow? Man, I love the kid. You know what, too? I'm going to say something. I'm rooting for Dan Campbell to win. I am. I'm rooting for him to win. He loves his guys. He got emotional last week. Lost a very close game last week. I hope the Lions win this game, but I think Cincinnati's a little bit too much. Houston and Indianapolis, I think the Colts get back on their winning ways. Carson Wentz has to step up. It's at Lincoln Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. I think they get the win over Houston. Houston's playing pretty tough for David Culley. I'm glad to see that. The Chargers and the Rams and Giants. Rams have to go all the way across the country to take on the New York Giants. Giants played pretty good last week. But again, Saquon Barkley's out. They don't have any kind of effective running game when he's not in the game. I think the Rams go in there and they probably blow out the New York Giants. Kansas City and the Washington team. The Washington team has played pretty well with Ron Rivera as their head coach. Unfortunately, the quarterback play is spotty at best with Heineke. I just think that Kansas City, even though they're not playing the best defense on the planet, I'm going to take the Chiefs in this football game. They go into Washington, D.C. and end up winning that game at FedEx in Landover. Minneapolis, I believe this is it's in Charlotte. The Vikings will take on the Carolina Panthers. And the Carolina Panthers, they come off a tough loss last week versus the Eagles. They had the win. They had the game in hand, and they dropped it. The Vikings are playing for their coach's career right now. Mike Zimmer is just about ready to get fired. I think Carolina turns it around. I think they win the game. I think Sam Darnold has a better weekend than he did last weekend against the Eagles, and I think they win that ball game. Chargers in Baltimore. Wow. Think of this for a second. It's Justin Herbert versus Lamar Jackson. Man, these two guys are spectacular players. They are just spectacular players. Who do you pick? The only reason I'm picking Baltimore in this game is because it's at home. It's in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. I've got to go with the home team. It's the only reason. If it was in LA, I would pick Herbert and the Chargers. Those two teams are playoff teams. How about this bad puppy? Who would have circled this game and said this game was one of the top games maybe in the entire NFL season? Arizona and Cleveland. The Cardinals are undefeated, and they're going into Cleveland with a football team that looks like they could be one of the top 3 teams in the AFC. Baker Mayfield, this is an audition for him. He's got to beat these guys. He's got a chance to take on Kyler Murray here. And now with Nick Chubb being out, their top running back, Cleveland, I think Arizona. Now, I'm hearing also that Chandler Jones is going to be in a Provid call, and he's in a Provid protocol now, which means he may not play in this football game. That's a huge factor. But I'm going to take Arizona going into Cleveland on the road and winning a big game. And Kyler Murray runs his team's record to 6-0 on the season. Good night. Raiders at Denver. Man, right? Raiders are in chaos. Sorry. You think you're going to just turn it around? Maybe it galvanizes them. I don't know. Okay. I don't know right now. And I don't know as of now if Teddy Bridgewater's clear to play. I think he's going to be. And if that's the case, I think Denver wins this ball game. One of the toughest places to play a football game. is in Denver. Dallas and New England, this is going to be a very, very interesting ball game here. Dallas goes into this game against the best defensive coordinator in NFL history. New England is good. They'll keep close for a while, but I just think it's going to be too much Dak. And the only reason that I think it's going to be more than a 10-point win is because Zeke's playing well. Zeke's running the ball. Last 3 games, really good to see him back again where he was 4 years ago because he's a factor again on that football team. Dallas wins this football game, and I think they win by more than 10 points in this game. And it is at Gillette in Foxborough. I got Seattle over Pittsburgh in a very close one. Actually, I'm going to amend that. You know why I'm going to take Pittsburgh? Because Russell Wilson is out. That's right. I just remembered. I'm taking Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. Hey, guys, don't forget. Do me a favor. Podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones, earbuds, everything that you need. Gamers out there, this is your one-stop place. 25% off of everything that's on the website. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. Shipping is free. You can spend as much as $5 or $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. Yeah, Russell Wilson is out. So Big Sills is taking the Steelers, and I'll take Big Ben. That would put their record back at 3-3 on the season. All right? Talk more about Baker Mayfield. Let's do it next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Somebody goes, hey, Dan, I got an opportunity for you to get Super Bowl tickets. I go, Hoss, I don't need them. I get them anyway. Thanks, guy, but I don't need Super Bowl tickets. I can get into the game anytime I feel like it. I like that. When they see me coming, they have a door, especially for me when I walk in. Dan, over here, please. Thank you. Like when I go get my press credentials, I don't have to wait. They just go, sir, this way, please. Here's your credentials. Thank you. Please. Yes, no, go right ahead. Yeah, no, I pin it to my shirt because Big Sills and Kong do not have things hanging around our neck. We think it's like a sign of racism. So we don't have anything around. We don't have anything around our necks. No, that's a very good comment, but it's not true. I'm not, I get called that, but, I'm just looking out for the other. Yeah, a little bit, because I don't want people to suggest that I'm some sort of toolbox. I'm sorry? Excuse me. What did you say? I didn't hear you. Speak up, son. It was an erotic moment actually for me. She was wearing a miniskirt, and I was like, "This is cool." I tried to let her go 4 or 5 times. She just didn't want to leave the big concert. Finger. Got you, dude. Thank you so much. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Baker Mayfield. Let me get to this guy in a minute. So Odell Beckham Jr., Mr. Superstar catch in Cleveland. Jesus gravity. Has he been a bomb? Has he been a bomb there? This guy here, man, I mean it. Wow, is he sucked out loud in Cleveland? It's just not worked. And, if you didn't know who he was, would you even know he was in Cleveland? Watch this. Where's Odell Beckham play? Cleveland. It even sounds funny. When he was in New York, he was averaging 90 yards, 91 yards a game for all those games that he played with Eli. Since he's been in Cleveland, he's averaging like 55 or something like that. He's been constantly injured. I think he's missed 35 games since he's been in Cleveland. God, that's a lot. Guy can't stay healthy, and he makes $14 million a year. What a great thing, right? Non-productive, and you're expensive, and they can't figure out how to use you. That's a guy you should have on your roster. Now they're trying to figure out how to get his ass out of Cleveland. It's impossible. When the Giants dangled that guy's ass out in the open market and Cleveland came calling, they knew they caught a lemon. Oh, my God, they got it. They found that fish out there, and it was Cleveland. They bid on it. They bid on the one thing he's ever done. You know what that is? That catch that he had at the stadium. I think it was the new one. It was at the new one at MetLife. That's the only thing he's known for. Is he a great athlete? Absolutely. Is he a great player? Absolutely. But what has he done? Zero. Zero. So now they're trying to shop him. What would be a market for a guy who's constantly injured and he makes a lot of money? Ugaz. Look it up. It's an Italian word. Ugaz. All right? I mean, it's just bad. Can't get rid of the guy. That's what happens when you pay wideouts. Don't ever pay wideouts big money. Wideouts are a dime a dozen. They're like apples on a tree, dude. Some of them are more skilled than others. But look at what Brady won with up in New England. He won with a bunch of nobodies. Edelman, Amendola, Welker. Who were those guys? Those guys were like nobodies in college. Do you even know where Julian Edelman went? Julian Edelman's a Super Bowl MVP. Do you even know where he went to college? How about Amendola? Do you know where he went? I don't. I think Welker went to Texas Tech. I don't know. These guys all won Super Bowls, put up gigantic numbers, won immense awards. These weren't the top flight guys like Beckham and DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones. Julio did get to a Super Bowl, but very few of these guys do. Why would you pay big money for that? I wouldn't. I'm going to pay big money for O-linemen, corners, quarterbacks. I'm not doing it for safeties. I'll do it for tight ends because they're a big component of what I'm trying to accomplish. O-linemen for sure, but wideouts, just because they're the biggest mouths on the field doesn't mean that they're the most productive people in helping you win. If you don't have the signal caller to get the ball to him, he's useless, right? He's the most dependent position on the field. Here, follow me. Let's take a look at this for a second on wideouts and their importance. If the offensive line doesn't block, okay, he never gets the ball. If the quarterback can't find him, he can't catch the ball. Then you've got to be able to catch the ball. You've got to do three things before you even turn and run. When you're a running back, guy turns and catches the ball and he's gone. Just ridiculous. All right. I'm really looking forward to these two games. Justin Herbert versus Lamar Jackson, Chargers and Ravens. And I'm looking forward to that Cards and Browns game. I want to see what Mayfield does versus Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's leading the chase right now for the Most Valuable Player award. Okay, he's leading the charge. And I'll tell you, I think those games are going to be fantastic. I do think this Cowboys and Patriots game could be a little bit easy. Some college news, more on the John Gruden case. We'll reset and keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show.